All right, guys, thanks for coming in. And let's wait a few minutes for everyone to hop on and get themselves ready. So let's give it a minute or so. Hi, guys, welcome in. Today we are bringing the value to discuss a multifamily wealth playbook. We're going to learn how the top investor are building generational income in 2025. So my name is Sophie Lynn Keller-Williams. I want to welcome everybody and thank everybody's time. We are going to bring it as value as your mind's going to blow away. I have incredible individual joining us today, a partner, a friend, and someone I trust, John Wayne.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Sophie, for having me, and welcome everybody for coming today.
Fantastic. So a little bit background about me and who I am, just so you guys know. My name is Sophie Lynn. Originated from Taiwan. I grew up in Chicago and have the Bay Area home for the past 30 years. My passion for real estate from my background is interior architect design. I believe in building strong relationship with my client and earning your trust and exceeding your expectation is my top priority. That's why I have been constantly recognized as top producer in the Bay Area, including the top 3% in 2022 and top 1% in 2023 from various recognitions. So I am super excited sharing with you how to build your wealth in the next level. So with further ado, let's have an opportunity for you guys to get to know John a little bit.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sophie, for having me today. My pleasure to be here. Very happy to share with you all a little bit about myself and also multifamily investments on the call today. With that said, a little bit about me. I have probably a little bit over 20 years of experience, or actually a career as a financial planner. I was a certified financial planner for over 20 years, and in the last 7 years, I have shifted from a financial planning career into real estate and specifically multifamily investing. And with my background in finance, to get into to multifamily investing and really leverage my skill set in the finance world to have a keen eye, if you will, to build my now career and business in multifamily investments. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. Thank you so much.
So before we jump in, I would like to talk a little bit about how John and I met, and why we even kind of started the conversation with growing our real estate portfolio. So about 5 years ago, when I was exploring and then building the career as a trusted realtor here in the Bay Area, I quickly learned that a lot of wealth are building in real estate, right? So besides buying and selling in the Bay Area, what are other options that average individual, including myself or any other one of my clients, can be learning, adding value, right? So lots of my clients are purchasing a home here in the Bay Area, and most of people don't have another million or $3 million to invest right away. But we always are constantly looking for opportunity, right? And multi-unit is something a little bit different than what most people expected. We know that there are duplex, triplex, or fourplex, but what if there are other things that beyond the fourplex, right? So we want to talk about multi-unit, and the word syndication was very new to me. I was very intrigued on how does anybody even consider thinking about multi-unit investment? John, the first property or first project that we invest, how many door was it?
It was 167 doors.
So 167 doors, guys. This is a complete game changer. A lot of, and then we're going to dive in a little bit more about case study after. But that's, John, a lot of people don't know what is a multifamily syndication. Can you give us a little rundown of what is it?
Um, so multifamily syndication, the word might sound intimidating to some people, might be new. But essentially what it is for a group of investors together, pulling money together to buy an apartment complex. Because the dollar amount usually is in the 10 million, 20 million, dollar range. Usually not one investor can take that down. So in apartment syndication or multifamily syndication, what happens is the general partners who are the people that's leading the project pull money together along with limited partners who are investors only. Um, they come together, pull their money together to buy a 100-unit project or 150-unit project or 200-unit project uh, uh, at one time. So that really is a short and sweet summary of what multifamily syndication is.
Got it. This is something new to many of our audience or my client that who is looking for different knowledge and step by step of building different wealth in real estate, right? Let's talk a little bit about our focus of project. I understand that, well, most of our projects are actually in Dallas, Texas. And first question everybody always asks, why Dallas? Why Dallas multifamily? How did we end up start choosing or selecting or focusing on Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, great question, Sophie. So, for Dallas specifically, I mean, there in the U.S. there is quite a few markets that are great markets to invest. Just like single family homes, multifamily, it's just like single families, location, location, location. So, for Dallas, why Dallas? When I first started it in Dallas, or decided on the market on the Dallas market, the purpose or the reasons behind investing in Dallas, Texas specifically, there's a lot of reasons, but of the primary reasons is population growth, net migration rate, strong job growth. There's a lot, actually over the last 15 years, there's a huge amount of corporate relocations, even corporate headquarters being moved to Dallas, Texas specifically. So, which in turn, if you can imagine, that drives a lot of housing demand. Um, and a lot of people that move there or that the job creation created may not necessarily be able to purchase homes right away. So that creates that housing demand for temporary housing or potentially rental housing. And that rental housing essentially is apartment investing, apartments, right? Multifamily, if you can imagine. And so And besides that, Dallas, Texas is a red state, and also it doesn't have state income tax. That's a huge one for businesses, right? And also higher investment demand and just a lot of because of all these activities happening, a lot of money is moving into Dallas, Texas, right? So a lot of investors want to invest in DFW. It is I would say Dallas Fort Worth is also a mature but growthy market. Um, I want to invest in a place where it's the market is mature enough so that you limit a lot of the downside risk when you're investing, and also you want to have a great foundation of population so that your occupancy rate, which is really important in multifamily, always maintained at a high level, right? So you won't be having a great exodus all of a sudden, right? So that's and then also Dallas Fort Worth in normal years, let's say you take out the COVID years, the the not so good years, but in normal years, the rent growth rate are probably the top if you compare to all the other great growing cities. So of those, I mean, those are some of the ones that come to mind. But primarily, I mean, those that is primarily why I have been strong on Dallas, and that's why we continue to be confident in the Dallas market.
Awesome. So I want to also jump in to those that who just beginning of learning more about multi-unit and what are the project we have invested or we have and a lot of people love case studies so they actually can see realistically what are some of the projects I personally invest and we are actually currently doing, and how does it even work in a broad level? Before we dive into the detail, right? One of the case study that we have is the Oakland apartment in Garland, Texas. John and I have honored to actually visit it. So normally most of these multi-unit investment we as investor or I as investor that we rely on the professional team, just like John, and to do all the due diligence and break out all the finances for us and then negotiate a good deal for us, right? So let's talk about Oakland apartment as one of the example to share with everyone.
Sounds good. Perfect. Um, so Oak Glen Apartments was actually location wise, it's located in Garland, Texas. For those of you that do or don't know, Garland, Texas is a suburban city outside of primary Texas. Actually, very close to downtown Dallas, Texas. Actually, it's about 15-20 minutes drive. Um, this city primarily is comprised of workforce folks. So workforce housing. A lot of our tenants are construction workers, retail, service industries. So that is kind of the tenant base that we love because it's that they're usually very uh, loyal to your location once they move in, and I mean there's a lot of other reasons why we love that population, but specifically, it was built in 1980s. We love to buy properties in the 80s, in vintage wise in the 80s. Reason why is because we specialize in value add, meaning when we say value add is you buy a property that's older and you improve it, you make improvements to the property, whether exterior, interior, kind of like when you're buying a fixer upper in a single family, right? So you're doing value add, you're changing the interior for the better for the next person. right, that buys it. So that is our sort of expertise. So in terms of buying an older product and improving it, that's exactly what this property is. So it's 150 units. So there's about 150 families that's leasing from us. At the time when we purchased the property, it was at about a 92 or 93% occupancy, meaning that 93% is occupied of the 150 units. So currently, as we speak, in October, we're at about 95% occupancy, which is actually a pretty respectable occupancy rate. And the occupancy since we purchased it, probably about 2.5 years ago, it's been um, steady at about 90 to 95%. So um, with that said, a lot of the details, like, we purchased the property, just like what I was mentioning, projects that we usually buy, it's in the 10 to 20 million. So we purchased this property for 21 million. We took on Fannie Mae debt, like agency debt. It's the most conservative debt in commercial multifamily properties, and they usually get the cheaper rates. And so the debt was 14 and a half, 14.35 million. We raised equity from investors. So all of our investors, including me, including Sophie, including everyone else, all the investors on the project invested and came together with 9.7 million to purchase this property. The expected cash flow and also what we have been receiving, as well as the expected return rate on properties like this. Cash flow on a yearly basis is anywhere from 5 to 7%, roughly. And then on a return basis, it's about 1.8 times multiple over 5 year period, assuming the 5 year hold time. And so it's about essentially doubling your money every 5 years. So that's what we're our goal is. So yeah, that's just a rough overview of the example of a property that we actually invested in.
Awesome. So guys, I know you have tons of questions. Feel free to put in your question in the text box chat and our team will get back to you. And due to the time, we want to get through as much information as we can today for you guys. So I do see a lot of people are interested and excited and would like to find out more. So John and I have a link on the side for you guys to click on throughout the webinar today that we can book down one-on-one to have a conversation, deeper conversation, to diving a little bit more and getting your question answered. So now, next, I want to talk about tax benefit and advantage. Okay, lots of people are here constantly looking for ways and understanding fully when we own any real estate property or a multi-unit investment, syndication. What are some of the tax advantages?
So the tax advantages that comes with multifamily investments are very similar to that of single family like rental investments. So many of you might have heard of the depreciation that you get to capture, right? When you purchase a rental property, you can depreciate a lot of the above the ground. No, you can't depreciate land, right? So anything above the ground, you can pretty much depreciate over time. Um, what has happened in the last, I would say probably 10 years since 10 years maybe since Trump got in office. When he first got in office, the first time around, and also recently he got in office, he also adjusted the tax law. So what happened was that when he got into office, he adjusted the what's called the bonus depreciation capture. So what happens is that when you buy a property, a rental property, and when you buy a multifamily property, I'll talk about multifamily specifically. Um, the bonus depreciation, the depreciation schedule, you can actually accelerate a lot of the depreciation, anything above the ground, right? So if we buy a $10 million property, Probably 20% of it is going to be not allowed to be depreciated. So maybe 8 million is depreciable, right? But of the 8 million, you can't depreciate the whole thing. So basically, what happens is that a lot of, but majority of that, let's say you, um, out of 10 million, you can depreciate maybe 8 million, right? Out of the 8 million, you can probably depreciate, you can fast forward depreciate into the first year, maybe 6 million, right? So out of that 6 million, if we took the prior example of the Oakland investment, right? So we raised about 9.7 million. If you have a depreciable basis of maybe about 6+ million, so for every $100 you invest in, you can get a depreciation of maybe $70, right? 60 to 70 dollars, probably $70, right? So that percentage of depreciable basis is a lot bigger than if you were to invest into a single family home, right? Usually when you buy $1 million property, you could probably depreciate at the most maybe 200,000 plus 300, right? So maybe 20 or 30%. But in properties like this, because the cost is so high, um, that cost gets uh, that cost and also the depreciable basis in there is a lot higher. So you spread that amongst all the investors. All the investors that's in the project gets to benefit partially from the high depreciable basis. So basically, long story short is you get a big uh, um, paper loss in year one of when we purchase these properties if you invest with cash or investments, after tax investments. So this depreciable basis is actually, or this bonus appreciation is actually really, really beneficial um, for people that are in real estate professions primarily, because a lot of the times, if you are in the real estate profession as a profession, um, that depreciable basis or that bonus appreciation goes dollar for dollar against your taxable income. So if you make 100,000, you invest 100,000. That 60, $70,000 of bonus appreciation goes dollar for dollar against your taxable income. So all of a sudden your taxable income becomes from 100,000 now becomes 30,000, right? Because you deducted against that bonus appreciation. So, but that's for real estate professionals primarily, right? On a big picture, I'll keep everything on the big picture perspective. If you have more questions specifically, you can we can schedule time afterwards to chat about this. Um, I can talk about this because I'm a financial planner. I used to be a financial planner, so so I know that this thing inside and out. So um, but yeah, so the bonus appreciation is the primary big benefit. Now, for a lot of you that are listening, that are watching today, a lot of you might have a profession that's not real estate professional, right? So you are a high income W-2 earner, maybe here in the Bay Area or elsewhere. But for high income earners, W-2 earners, when you invest into projects like this, the bonus appreciation that you get in year one, all of us get a K1, right? A paper loss. But what happens with this paper loss is that you can use it you cannot use it against your regular income, deduct against your regular income tax, okay? Unless you make less than 150,000 a year, okay, as a single person, okay, or as a joint couple, all right? But if you make, I'm assuming, I mean, a lot of us in the Bay Area make more than 150,000 per year, right? So if you make more than 150,000 a year, you cannot deduct this bonus appreciation against your regular income. A lot of people mistakenly think that you can use this paper loss against like stock losses or investments that you lose in stock or or other investments, like you cannot. Okay, so this is what we call passive activity loss. And passive activity loss is primarily um, for non-real estate professionals is basically only deductible is only is this loss is only deductible against passive activity. So what qualifies as passive activity is if you have rental income from your rental properties, other rental properties, doesn't have to be this one, right? If you have rental income from other properties, you can actually deduct dollar for dollar that rental income against this bonus depreciation paper loss. So on a yearly basis, if you, let's say, following that previous example, you invested 100,000, you get 70,000 of bonus depreciation, right? Paper loss. Now you have a rental property that gives you maybe 20 or $30,000 of rental income, net rental income per year, right? Now usually that's taxable, right? That's added on to your taxable income. Now what happens is that that 20,000 goes against the 70,000, and basically it takes that paper loss down to 50,000, right? And now all of a sudden your 20,000 on rental income is no longer taxable, right? It's wiped out. And then now you have $50,000 that you haven't used in the bonus appreciation. It gets carried over a limited amount of years forward, right? So every year you get to use that bonus appreciation that you accumulate, that you earn by investing in a project like this. So that is primarily the tax advantage of investing in multifamily syndication, essentially.
Awesome. I know some of us are either first time or few time of thinking about and learning a little bit more um, about how to invest our dollar and money into real estate. And for the tax benefit wise, of course, that we always advise that you need to consult your own CPA, financial advisor, licensed CPA, that we are here as educational and value to you. So if you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat box and then we will get to you at the end of the section. Now, some people are eager and excited to learn more. Well, this sounds interesting. What would be the next step? How can we participate? So we kind of break it down into a simple 4 step, and I have a bonus for you guys that John is incredible on teaching and mentoring program at, and then we'll save it for later. We'll save the best for later, but let's talk about what are the ways for individual that is newly considered to participate or to build their first step investment into multi-family syndication. Can you walk us through a little bit about how can everybody consider and step forward into the participation?
Yeah, definitely. So if you are for those of you that are listening or watching this webinar, if you are interested in learning more about the opportunity, just about everything that we talked about today, or just simply want to learn more about multifamily syndication, um, feel free to join like our investor list, Sophie's investor list. By so we wanted to get you on that investor list so that we can maybe speak with you and provide some education to you on what multifamily syndication is, and also in the investment process, and because these investments are private, what we call private placements, they're not public offerings, right? So we don't usually our offerings are exclusive and private, so we don't usually mass market these opportunities. So for those that of our investors in the past and also investors in the future, we want to be direct and actually these are offerings. So for those of you that are interested in learning more or investing, actually investing with us, we do need to verify and accredit your respective accreditation status to make sure that you're either accredited or non-accredited investor. Um, and Right now, we don't have any deals active. So primarily right now is just uh, education, providing education about the potential opportunity, right? And if there's an opportunity that comes around, there will be additional documentation and private, what we call private placement memorandum. Those are all deal specific documents that we will provide for you when there is a deal. Right now, there's no deal. So essentially, right now is just if you are interested, join Sophie's investor list and get verified on the accreditation, and then have a conversation with us, education primarily, about the what it is, and then when there is an opportunity, we'll let you know, and then we'll kind of take you down that process of investing. Okay, so that's really how to participate.
Okay, perfect. That's fantastic, guys. So I promise that we are going to give you guys a bonus. So John has been incredible resources, and there are many, many individuals that would like to learn more about as an investment um, investor. And but some other people are interested to even learn how to be someone like John, how to manage or grow. So John, I heard there's a news that you are graciously teaching. Can you just give us a quick glimpse of what is your program is about, just in case anybody who's interested?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Sophie, for the opportunity. I've been so now primarily, multifamily investments is my W-2, is my primary role, right? So what I do is I've been doing it for about seven years now, 10 years if you count the years that I invested myself. So I've gone through enough so to know the ins and outs and really like about everything about multifamily investments and multifamily syndications specifically. Um, it's a business, right? So it's just like your W-2. It's a business that you're building, right? So um, for anyone who is I've decided to kind of get into um, coaching, essentially mentoring, if you will. Um, and that's really for any investors or any essentially anybody who wants to learn about the multifamily syndication business. um, I have basically a full-on course that I teach on a week in, week out basis. Essentially, I charge like less than $1,000 for teaching that course. So if you are interested, primarily, I'm trying to educate people about the business and about multifamily syndication, and I want to make sure that people understand the business the right way. You know, and not only is it an investment, but it's also very much of a win-win-win business for all that's involved. So I want to make sure that people not just go in and invest, but also understand fully what they're investing in, and also like what this business really means for the long run for everybody.
Awesome, guys. You are in it for a treat. I hope you have found the time you spend with us is very valuable. It is a great honor and pleasure having John Way with us. So two things you guys gonna walk away. One is to make sure you guys reach out to me and be on my investor list. it's an email list that I keep you guys informed. Like John said, I have no active project right now. I'm not selling anything. I'm not taking anyone's money, but we just want to make sure that information are passed through when the time do come or educate you guys throughout the process. Number two, if you are an advocate and then want to go a little further and be bold, and you can find out more information and be in the program with John Wei and learning the inside and out of how to identify project, how to invest into multi-unit in a complete different depth level. I think is incredible what John Wei is doing, and his program has helped many incredible students established. You definitely need to follow John's social media. He provide daily, weekly tips for you guys to think at a different level. So with that, I'm so super grateful and super excited. And with that being said, well, this is your most trusted realtor here in the Bay Area, Sophie and Jimmy. And please reach out to us. We want to be your resources. We are proud to thrive the lifetime realtor in your life. So we are super happy and excited for conversation. So once again, this is Sophie and John. You guys have a great day.
Bye.